I something going on right now that I don't know if you're getting a lot of calls about, or obviously you stay in the know on what's going on. Short-term
Hmm.
rentals and using your property as a business. I don't know what to predict what the future will hold for that. I've seen two plays from associations to curtail that particular use of the
Hmm.
property, and I want to get your thoughts on it. If you think there's another layer to it I'm not thinking of, but so if an association decides to amend the rules or the declarations to set minimum number of days of a rental period
Hmm.
and the minimum or the maximum number of units which may be used as rentals in the neighborhood, that seems to be the two plays to stop short-term rentals. Am I missing something? What are your thoughts on short-term rentals as it relates to associations and the potential future for North Carolina?
Certainly, Justin, and we're always dealing with rental restrictions. I mean, at any given time, we have at least 10 amendments going on that deal with rental restrictions because a lot of people are asking questions right now. I do want to stress that neither we nor most of the associations we work with have any issue with the renters in a particular association. The reason I say that is we have associations that are almost all rentals. The renters are on the board of directors. The renters are running the association, and it works fine. On the other hand, we have had some associations for the last couple of years that have said, wait a minute, a company has come in and bought up so many homes in our community over about 2 months that we are shifting from a owner community into a all the homes are owned by a rental company community. We don't want to be only a rental association. How do we stop that? And so some associations have done anything from adopting a declaration amendment that says there are no rentals, or sometimes there's a cap on rentals that we will not allow there to be more than 50% of the homes that are rented in the community because we would like to traditionally keep this community owner occupied. That's different. I mean, that's a different issue just than you raised on the other one, which is some owners have turned around and suddenly everyone around them is not someone living in their unit anymore, but it's a VRBO or Airbnb tenant. And from the association side, who's this Justin? Why is Justin asking to get into the pool? We don't know who Justin is. Nobody told us Justin was going to show up in our condo. Is Justin supposed to be in this building? And so some associations have said that we are having an issue with short-term rentals or too many short-term rentals, and so we want to put some type of a restriction on Airbnb or VRBO that any homes that are rented in our community, we're fine with rentals, but every rental needs to be at least for a week, or maybe it needs to be for 30 days, and that is more focused on this idea of dealing with short-term rentals. And you didn't mention it, but there's a third issue too, which is, again, some associations have taken the approach of we don't want a company to come in from Wall Street and basically buy up the entire community, and instantly everything is owned by one company. And so some associations have looked at having a requirement of how long someone must own a unit before they can rent it. And that would mean that Justin might come in and live for a year and then he'll start renting it to others, and that's fine. But at the same time, that might be an effort by the association to say, but we don't want companies just coming up and buying all the property. So again, there's no one size fits all. We have associations that have lots of renters and are going to keep it that way. On the other hand, I'll mention to you, as you know, in a condominium, if you have too high a percentage of rentals, you can't actually get financing to buy a condominium in the building. And that's because the FHA restricts uh, uh, the loaning of money if there are too many rentals. So condominiums almost always have to have some type of a rental restriction, or people will have trouble buying in the community. So it just varies depending on where the property is in North Carolina and what the specific issue is that the owners are trying to take care of.
Do you think that because one of the and I don't have a particular opinion either way. It doesn't. I invest in real estate. I don't know if you do or not. So not that short term rentals are like a primary play for me or anything like that. Again, I don't have a position. You go. I think it's market specific, right? You look at the beach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a tourism destination location. The likelihood of people limiting, vacation rentals probably not as high as like your traditional, single family with a bunch of families running around type subdivision, right? Like it's just a different play depending on the market. I'm wondering, the calls you get across the board, are they happy calls more percentage, or do you get the people that are upset something's wrong? What typically is it for you guys at your firm? Is something already gone awry, off the rails, and I'm calling law firm Carolinas because I got to bring the sheriff to town to fix this? What do you guys see?
More often what we see, I mean, we do see everything because of the size of our practice. We have 6 offices, including in South Carolina. So we get every kind of call. But most often what we're getting these days is our community does not have renters right now, but the one next to us has suddenly gotten lots of Airbnb and VRBO rentals, and we don't want short-term rentals. What would we need to do if we wanted to restrict that? And just to let you know, Justin, the normal answer is the board can't do that. That's not something the board has authority to do. That's one of those declaration amendments we talked to. Almost certainly it's going to require at least a 67% vote of all owners in the association for that to pass. I will tell you, you know what the world's like right now. It would be hard to get 67% of most associations to agree that it is dark at night. And so generally, for one of these amendments to pass, it means that there is overwhelming support in the community for either a cap on rentals or no short-term rentals. It's not a 51, 49% vote. It is going to be an overwhelming supermajority vote is going to be required to put in those kinds of restrictions.